Hello and welcome to the No Pricks Allowed podcast with your host, Aaron Buchner from Cactus. I'm Wendy McConnell. Well, Aaron, you're not looking all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed today.
Do I look that bad?
Oh, yeah, you look bad. You act.
The love-hate thing with you. It works out. No, yeah, I'm
That happens with a lot of people in my life, Aaron. I'm sure you're surprised. So why?
I only have to deal with you once a week. So, you know, I could take you for that little bit, that 45 minutes.
Good in small doses, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what has you all sleepy-eyed today?
Slavery. Because I went to a concert, like, where I spend all my money. I went to Toronto, and I went to the Budweiser stage now is what they call it, or the Bud stage, which is the outdoor venue. So it's an outdoor stage out on the water, out on Lake Ontario. And I went and saw Bush.
Oh, a band I've heard of.
A band you heard of? That's good.
Hey, I even have an album by them. An album. Sorry, we don't call them that anymore, right? That's my old radio business lingo.
Yeah. Album. Yeah, no one calls them album. It's like the cool way if it's vinyl or CD. Yeah, album.
But what do they say when a new one comes out? What do they say? They have new music?
I think they call it an album, but I don't know if they really drop albums nowadays because they drop they do like singles or like surprise Spotify's. But
Right.
They don't actually make. They do print them. Like they still make CDs and vinyls for the new music, but I don't know with streaming. I think they just kind of drop singles randomly. Is usually it happens, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's a collection of them.
No, I mean, like, when Taylor Swift has a new album come out, they say, I guess they still say a new album.
They still say album.
Okay, gotcha. So you saw Bush. Did they have somebody else with them, an opening act?
Yes, they had Jerry Cantrell was opening for them. Well, there was one of many. So he's Alice in Chains.
Okay. Heard of them too.
Okay, so you know the harder rock stuff.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Oh, sure. I just never heard of those crazy bands you have up there in Canada.
Well, I'm gonna go see another one on Friday. This Friday, I'm gonna go see another one. Well, it's a local band in Kingston called The Wilderness. We're gonna go see, and we're gonna go take the kids to that one. So it's a nice free concert. We're like, okay, we'll introduce the kids. They've been bugging us. They want to go to concerts because mommy and daddy go to it. We have the headphones for them, so we're up close, jumping around, that they don't lose their ears and can't hear anything like me. You don't want to have that to impact anything.
Okay, so do you have a rock T-shirt on from the last concert you attended?
No, I wore it yesterday, so my wife threw it in the wash. No, but I have my Foo Fighters shirt on today.
Oh, is that like a tradition for you, buying the shirt? Because I stopped buying them years ago because they're just so ridiculously expensive.
They are. This one was $60, so not little bit more than normal, but usually they're usually like $40. I'm like, $40, I can spend $40 for a shirt. Like, that's not a big deal. We do it. Yeah. No, usually tradition is I go to a concert, I buy a shirt. So I have that memory of that concert and I wear it proudly.
Gotcha. Well, you sure do wear them proudly. I know that for sure. Okay. So, should we get down to business? Do you want to talk a little, finance? Do you want to get into,
Yeah, we can talk finance. Yeah, I guess we don't need to have a talk radio about my love of music and different types of music. Let's go on for hours. So I'm like, we'll save that one for after I do the Vegas trip and when I do the 13-hour one with 26 bands. And then we'll have like a 30-minute conversation just on music. And then maybe we'll talk about finance after.
What are we going to dive into today, Aaron?
We are going to dive into the fight, the internal struggle that we have between should you help your kids and save for tuition or should you invest for retirement yourself? Because everyone has this struggle. I have this struggle with my kids. It's what should I do? I have this money, I have these things, and we're fighting back and forth of what is the best thing to do? Where should I put this money? What is the smartest move between it? Should I help my kids or should I help myself between the two? And I know there's an analogy out there, and I'm not a big fan of it. I'm also not an analogy person. I kind of came to fruition of that while on the train with my wife yesterday. I don't like analogies a whole much, but there's an analogy they always say of, well, should I invest for my kids or should I save in retirement? And it was, people use the analogy of, oh, it's like an air mask on an airplane. You have to put it on yourself before helping the kids. I'm like, okay, I get the premise of it. I get the analogy, but usually if that happens on a plane, we're dealing with life and death situations and bigger issues. Right now we're talking about investing between retirement and tuition. That's not life and death. It's not also at the same time. It's not one or the other. Why you can do both at the same time. And if you choose to do retirement for yourself, doesn't mean the end of the world, really, when we talk about this.
Well, and you're right. You can do both at the same time, but it can be life or death if you get to retirement and don't have any money. That can be a big problem, especially if your kids choose, I don't think I'm going to help out mom and dad.
Well, there are those extremes. Like, yes, I have scientist background. There's always those extreme cases on the far left and the far right. I get it. Yes, if we're dealing with life and death, and all you did is you saved for your kids' tuition and then did nothing for yourself for retirement, I get your point.
Not a good idea.
But do most people do that?
Right.
I'm gonna guess no.
You are
so like there. Yeah, I could sit here and talk about extreme things out in left and right field, but most people look at it and go, that's not me. I don't do that. Most people are like, okay, I can afford to save money either for myself or my kids, but it's that thing of, okay, I have this pocket of money, let's call it $300 a month they want to save, and they're just saying, do I do it all into the kids, or do I do it all to myself, or do I do like 50 to the kids, 25? Do I do this mixture? And it's this internal struggle that we all have of the good versus evil debate of what is the best for myself. Do I take care of myself first, or do I put my kids first and help them?
So what's the answer,
It's a
Aaron?
struggle. Let's see.
Tell us the answer, then we can wrap this bad boy up.
It depends. All right, have a good night, everyone. It all depends.
It always depends.
He's the greatest answer to everything else. It depends.
All right, let's talk about, because I got to say, as somebody who does not have kids, I understand that the desire to help your kids and to have them not be so bogged down with student debt when they graduate. But I also feel like, they have plenty of time to take care of things and to get things in order, where we as the parents or the parent age don't have a lot of time to figure out finances anymore. And I'm very selfish because I don't have kids, so I don't have to choose.
But you're also assuming the kids are going to be smart when they get out of university and make all the smart decisions we didn't make in our 20s. So you're going to remember
if I raised them, they'd be smart. I can say that, Aaron, because I have no proof refuting it.
Your hypothetical children would be absolutely perfect. Is that what you're telling me here, Wendy?
Geniuses. All right, so
you would raise the perfect children. Okay, good to know. This is how you would work the options. Yeah, so the option is I would look at it and go, anyone, if they're starting out with that struggle of, okay, how much should I save for my kids or myself, and how do I prioritize it? First one is, what's most important to you? If you're going to start there, that's the most important aspect. Is sit back and go, what is the most important thing you want to achieve? Is it more important for you to make sure you have the money for retirement, or is it more important for you to help your kids as much as possible for university? Because even if we look at it, we're looking at a different time frame. Most kids, okay, we had our kids, I'm thinking now 7 years ago. So I had them at 33. I'm 40 now. So we've been saving up for them for university for 7 years, but we're talking 16 years of investing. So 33 till 48. I'm not retiring until 65. So I still have time afterwards to make ends meet when going on, versus someone else of, okay, maybe they still had the kids of the same age, but they have plans to retire when their kids go to school. So when their kids leave the nest and go off to university, they're like, nope, I'm done. I'm retiring at this age. You have that time frame you have to battle with of, okay, maybe then you need to focus on retirement more than the kids, because your goal's a little bit more important to you, and ensuring that you can retire at 16 is what you want to do. So definitely take that step back, go, what is the most important thing? Is it going to be, I want to have a good retirement and meet my retirement goals? Or is it, I want to help my kids and not to have them go into debt at the end of the year?
Unless we're going to split it, even Steven, how do we decide what is it? Should more important be placed on one over the other?
There's the battle of what is most important, but then also the time frame.
Okay.
associated to it, and how much time do you have?
So if you're younger like you can give more money to the university fund as opposed to somebody who didn't start having kids until their 40s. They probably should prioritize retirement.
Yes. Well, it would be that thing of when are you looking to retire. Like for me, I look at 65. There might be people who are like, no, by 50, they want to be done. So if they had kids in their 30s, they're going to be going to university at when they're 48 and they plan to retire 2 years later. If they're putting all the money into their kids and investing, they're not going to probably reach that goal 450 because they haven't put anything in for 16 years.
Okay.
And then they only have 2 years to make it. So it becomes that, yes, what's more important, but what's the time frame? I know that once my kids are gone and we've done investing, I still have time after to make up. And I have also a plan of what do I have to do to achieve those once the kids are out. And I can actually make that goal of hitting my date in those timelines.
Okay. If we are planning to work longer than 65, then that just gives us more time. Because that was always a big goal of my sister. She did not want her children to graduate university with a bunch of debt. So she made it a priority for her to pay that off. But now she's kind of a little bit in a sticky situation where, somebody lost a job that they didn't think would happen. And so it can cause issues. So, it's a grand idea to want to pay full out for your your university tuition for your kids, but sometimes it's not always possible or the smartest thing to do.
Yes, things are going to happen and we don't know what happens, but that's where these financial plans, these plans that we create, when we look at these goals and what's more important to you, we look at not just, okay, what are you doing today or the 1 year? It's the 1 year, the 5 year, the 10, the 30, the 20. I said, I know we want to put money away for our kids and focus on their tuition. And that's important for us. Are we still investing for our retirement? Yes. Are we putting all the money towards our retirement? No, we've split it between the kids and the two. But I know that, okay, once my kids are in school, that money I'm putting towards their tuition will then move over to my retirement. I also know hopefully our incomes will increase by that time. So I'll have extra money to go towards retirement. By that time, based on the plan and interest rates don't get worse for us here in Canada, we will have our mortgage paid off and I will have all that money as well coming towards it. So I know once they're in school and they're done, I'll have this big bucket of money coming my way that I can make up the time. So even though a lot of people look at it and go, oh, I could be taking that almost $400 we're putting towards their tuition and put it into my own account and higher returns and create all this amount of money. Yes, I could, because time is the best thing on the side. And I'm not going to deny that fact that having $200 over the course is going to build a lot of money, but I know I can build that up later in life. I can play that catch-up game and dump thousands of dollars, which I'll have available once they're out to make up for all the time I've lost and that money. So in the end, I'm going to be back right where I want to be and hit my goal.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's crazy to think like that, isn't it?
Yes. Now, an interesting aspect is it's not only you that can contribute to your children's education, correct?
Correct. And that's a lot of people don't think about this is, yes, I contribute and my wife contribute. Well, we contribute, I guess. They say it's not really our separate money. We played as a pool together, but grandparents can contribute. So their grandmother, she gives money to us on an annual basis that we put into these RESPs to help do it. So it leaves us from having to put more money in or having that focus of, okay, how do I maximize the contribution to get that 20% grant money? It's a little bit less on us so that we can put money towards retirement. And we go to my brothers and sisters and we say, hey, rather than buy the kids toys, why don't you give us some money we can put into the RESP? And you can help them pay off tuition because that's important to them. They don't need more toys. Well, they've got a TV and iPads. They're good. They don't need any.
Yeah, and they get tired of toys rather quickly too, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. We have a lot of toys, and it's a lot of space. We renovated our whole basement to give more space for the kids for toys and now it feels like we still don't have more space.
Because now you just have more space for more toys.
Toys, exactly. So we tap into the grandparents and then go, rather than spoil them with toys they don't need, how about you put money towards their education and help fund that education for the long run? So definitely tap into them as much as possible.
You know what would be kind of a nice idea too? It's kind of flip flop that, because oftentimes grandparents and aunts and uncles, they don't want to contribute to their college education. They want to see their face light up when they rip open that wrapping paper. So maybe you as parents give them a lot less, focus on the other members of the family, giving them stuff for Christmas, and then you contribute more to the education fund.
Look at you. You're not a parent. You come up with this stuff. Look at you.
No, I have a friend who, I think rather than have it, specifically set aside as a special time, they wait until everybody gets together, which can be hard. I know Christmas morning, everybody wants to, run downstairs or whatever. But, they make sure that they know that these are from family members and that, the kids don't need to have these bonanzas of Christmas morning and then Christmas brunch and then Christmas dinner. And, just an idea I'm throwing out there.
It's to tell the parents, go, stop spoiling your children. Wendy does not like all these spoiled children.
No, I said to continue spoiling them. I said you to stop spoiling them.
Yes, and I will deny it is hard to fight the cool aunt and uncle debate of the aunts and uncles. Yes, they want to buy them the cool toy because they want to be the cool aunt and uncle. And I have one of the cool uncles on our family.
And I'm a cool aunt.
You're a cool aunt. The childless ones. It's like they want to spoil because they don't have their own. So they don't mind. You guys don't mind dropping the big money because you only have to do it like twice a year and that's it. Whereas we have to buy toys and clothes and feed them constantly.
Hey, you knew what you were signing up for, Aaron. I don't know.
But that's where we find free events like the concert we're taking the kids to on Friday. It's free. It's a free concert. I'm taking my kids to a free concert. It works out.
Hey, you can't beat free, right?
And I think it's also what you can think about is with how much you need to contribute towards tuition is what do you want to even achieve with a kid's tuition? Do you want to give them the full ride? So are you looking at paying for tuition and room and books and all their activities so the kid doesn't spend any money? Or you just say, no, we're going to help with at least tuition and books, but the rent, sorry, kid, you got to do it yourself. Or extracurricular activities, anything else, it's out of their pocket. So also think like, how much do you actually need? I know the last podcast where we talked about the RSP and we're talking about almost over $100,000 for 4 years. That's a daunting number, but that's for rent and everything. If we just scale it back and say, no, I'm just going to help with tuition, you don't have to save $100,000. You can do a little bit less, which then frees up more money for your retirement, and you can achieve that retirement goal at the same time. But everything else we talk about this, we need a plan. We got to figure out what these goals are and what do you try to achieve and prioritize each one and timeline each one and figure out how do I do every single thing along the way, because we have a lot of things we want to achieve.
All right. So what's our main focus then?
So the main focus is everything I always go back to when you're done with the plan, it's what's the most important thing? What are those goals that you have? You got tons of them. What's most important to you? What are those goals that this is the one that gets me hot in the cover, like hot under the collar. There we go. And I really want to achieve and is most important to me. You need to have that priority and then understand that, okay, if I make paying tuition a priority, if that's one of your priorities is helping your kids in tuition, what are the impacts to other things such as your retirement? Are you okay that by putting a focus on tuition, are you okay with changing that retirement goal from 55 back to 60? Are you okay with that or no? And then you have to have those conversations of, okay, well, do I have to pick up a second job, get more income? Do I have to stop spending so much money on the kids so we can do it? And then you have those more difficult conversations, which are never fun. And I know I don't want to say not spend money because I like to spend money. I just went to a concert and spent money. So, hey.
$100 on a t-shirt is what I heard.
Well, $60 a t-shirt and then ticket. I don't remember how much the tickets were, but I'm sure after fees and all the stuff, it was probably like close to $200 for the two of us, and then a hotel room in downtown Toronto. So that was another like 400. That was another like $300-400, and then train tickets there and there, another five. So we dropped a easy $1,000 plus food plus dinner, and then we went to the CNE, so the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto. So it's basically a gigantic fair in downtown Toronto. So we went to there. So we spent money and went on rides and tried our luck at games and didn't win any stuffed animals and ate a lot of food. So we spent a lot more money than we probably needed to. But
Well, if you just stop eating, you probably would have saved yourself a lot of money.
fair food is good.
I know it is. Yes, it is. Funnel cake, corn dogs.
Deep fried cheesecake.
Oh, yes, yes.
So good. Deep fried. And then we had another one, which was a lemonade smoothie, where they call it like a lemonade smoothie. Tastes like a lemon meringue pie. It was this lemonade with whipped cream and really.
Oh, you only live once, Aaron, right? You can always make more money.
Exactly. I can make more
Exactly
money.
what a financial advisor wants to hear.
You know what? But it's a priority to me, like everything. It's a priority. Having this fun and going to concerts and do these things, it's a priority to me. So I put my money aside for them.
And it's part of your plan. I mean, when you're, thinking about your finances, you know that some of your money is going to go to these types of things. So, as we wrap up the episode, what do you think is the overwhelming message that we talked about today when it comes to trying to decide between the kids' tuition and your own retirement fund?
Definitely don't think it's an all or nothing. It's not one or the other. You don't have to be just tuition. You don't have to just do retirement. You can split it between the two, however it works best for you based on what your goals are and your time frames and your priorities. And then my other one is just ignore the noise. You're going to get people out there going to look at you and say, oh no, you need to focus on retirement before tuition, and give you guff. And it's your plan. It's personal to you. Make it what you want to be, what you want to achieve when you do. I'm sure there's people here are just cringing at the fact, like you do, for $60 for a t-shirt. But Wendy, I don't give you guff for all of your Amazon purchases for your pickleball outfits. And yet you give me guff for one $60 t-shirt.
Well, none of my pickleball skirts are $60, and I look darn cute, I just got to say. But you do you, Aaron, okay?
It will do me.
Okay.
I will always do me, because that's what this is all about. And like I said, if anything you get from all these podcasts and everything it is of personal finance, it's do you. Be yourself. Do what's important to you. Ignore everyone else. Be happy with life. Have fun in life. It's no pricks allowed and prick-free financial. This stuff shouldn't hurt. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not fun.
Exactly. So if somebody wants help in crafting the perfect plan for their lifestyle, how do they get in touch with you?
Get in touch with me through my website at prickfree.com, or you can always email me at aaron@prickfree.com, and I'm all over social media, so you can also follow me there.
All right. Sounds good. So thank you, Aaron. Always a pleasure. And now you are free of me for at least the next week. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 week off.
It makes me feel so good. All right. So thank you for listening today. Please like, follow, and share this podcast with your friends. Until next time, I'm Wendy McConnell.
Thank you for listening to the No Pricks Allowed podcast. Click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit our website at www.prickfree.com or give us a call at 613-876-9899. And don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Cactus. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning. The contents of this podcast do not constitute an offer or solicitation for residence in any other jurisdiction where either Aaron Buchner and/or Sterling Mutuals is not registered or permitted to conduct business. The opinions expressed are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Sterling Mutuals, Inc. Mutual funds provided through Sterling Mutuals, Inc. Commissions, trailing commissions, management fees, and expenses all may be associated with mutual fund investments. Please read the prospectus carefully before investing. Mutual funds are not guaranteed, their values fluctuate frequently, and past performance may not be repeated.